Hello, and welcome back to the ANU podcast. Today's podcast has the power to change you into your most confident self. But a little fair warning, if you're looking for ways to only look confident, this podcast is not for you. If you want to become confident from the inside and out, this is the last stop for you because you won't need to hear another podcast on confidence again. Now, you might be thinking, why should you listen to me? Because I grew up as a socially anxious and insecure introverted kid, and now I make content for a living. You can't fake confidence here, people can literally tell. And if that's not enough to convince you, I also make vlogs of myself in places with lots of people with a digital camera and a tripod in a small town where everyone knows everyone and people actually talk about you. So I know a thing or two about this topic. By now you probably figured out that confidence is not something you're always born with. There's way too many factors, like if you weren't paid attention to by your parents as a child or bullied in school, that impacts your confidence even as an adult. But not to worry, because just like you learned to lose that confidence, you can also master this skill. Yes, it is a skill, which is why I'll be sharing 5 tips here to help you enter your confident girl era. And there will be actionable steps for you at the end so you can start becoming the change today. Tip number 1, action always comes first. People wait their entire lives to feel confident enough to do something. But what they fail to realize is that confidence doesn't come before the action, it comes after. If you're waiting to feel confident enough to go for a solo date, you'll wait forever. But if you jump in and start, the next few weeks you'll be more comfortable, and within a month you'll be a natural. Confidence is the result of your action, not the cause. Tip number 2, being cringe is freedom. Being embarrassed is a state of mind. More simply put, it is quite literally a choice. Why do you think doing the same cringe stuff with your friends doesn't feel as awkward as doing the same thing alone? That is because the task in itself isn't embarrassing, it's just your state of mind, and that means you can literally choose not to feel embarrassed. Of course it takes time, but until then, as our girl Rihanna once said, just pretend, girl, and in a few weeks that same task that embarrassed you would feel totally normal. Another way to stop being embarrassed is by learning how to laugh at yourself. This does not mean going out of your way to mock yourself, but it does mean not to take yourself so seriously. No one's thinking about you the way you're thinking about you. Even if people make fun of you, because a lot of people have made fun of me, I just know they'll go home and get on with their lives. So in those moments, decentering yourself and remembering today is just one small part in a very big life helps you ground yourself and keep showing up for your goals despite the opinions of others. And trust me, a lot of people who mock others are the ones who wish they had the same confidence that you do. Tip number 3, check this scoreboard. How many times do you say you'll do something and then ditch yourself? I'll start gym tomorrow, I'll finish that project tonight, I'll block them if they hurt me this time. Girl, I hear you. If you keep quitting on your goals, your own words and promises, and yourself, you'll never gain confidence because it comes from repeatedly keeping your word. Yes, the main thing is repeatedly. Your mind is actually keeping all the scores and deciding if you can be trusted or not, and that in turn boosts or dims your confidence. And this also applies to having faith in yourself and showing up after failures. You know what confidence truly is? It is insane belief in yourself, in your abilities. It is the unwavering faith that you can make excellent lemonade with the lemons life will eventually and constantly throw at you. And having that kind of belief comes from being okay with failing, because the more you fall, the more you learn to get up, and soon enough comes the self-imposed belief that no matter how hard you fall, you'll easily get up. And if you're observant enough, you start to see the amazing lessons in those failures, and you start getting more confident in your abilities, because with every fall you become an improved version of yourself, a you 2.0. Tip number 4, affirm and become. Now before you skip this, hear me out. You already affirm a million times a day. You keep putting yourself down, curse yourself at every mistake, blame yourself for everything that's going on in your life, because humans by design can't avoid thoughts, and most of us find it hard to avoid negative self-talk. So if we already make affirmations, which is quite literally the way you talk to yourself, why not choose to use them to your advantage by intentionally putting yourself up instead of putting yourself down by default? It's as simple as calling yourself beautiful after washing your face in the morning, saying you're lucky whenever something good happens to you, telling yourself you're worthy after buying an overpriced latte. I'm not asking you to go out of your way and write down everything and say it aloud 15 times a day. Of course you have the time, you can do that, but I could never stay consistent at that, and that's why I started finding ways to implement these affirmations as part of my lifestyle. The more you say these things about yourself, the more you'll start believing them. Your brain does not know the difference between thoughts and reality. So think, truly think, visualize, and just watch your reality change. Literally, just like magic. An important thing to note here is that affirmations, when combined with actions, are so powerful, and it's an excellent way to get rid of anxiety. But I'll explain that later in some other podcast. Tip number 5, stop being ignorant. Listen, in your journey to confidence, there will be things that are in your control, and then there will be things that are not. Your job is to change the things you can control and accept what you cannot. It means being patient with yourself through the changes that need to be made to become your best self. It does not mean become ignorant of your flaws in the name of self-love. It also means evaluating and checking if there are toxic people in your life and cutting them off instead of making excuses for their behavior. If someone is putting you down and calling it friendship, girl, run. But if somebody is genuinely and kindly guiding you towards betterment, keep them close. Now is the time to implement all these points with these tasks for you. Task number 1 is to note down everything that you've been postponing because you're waiting for confidence first, and do at least one of those things this week. Task number 2 is I want you to make a physical list of your goals every single day and tick off at least half of them at night, if not all. This slowly but surely will raise your confidence in your words, because you might think that you can distract yourself from the realization that you broke your promise once again, but like I said earlier, your mind is always keeping score. Task number 3 is write down some affirmations for yourself and then say them before bed and in the morning, preferably in front of a mirror. You can do it like I do and just say the things that align with your actions, like saying I'm so aware and I'm so smart after listening to this podcast. The last task is to note down your current self and your ideal self, and then pick out traits that are transformable and the ones that you need to accept. Once you've picked them, start working on accepting and changing them one by one. Remember, real confidence comes by showing up for yourself, by doing the things you said you'd do. I feel a lot more confident when I work out on days I don't feel like going just because I told myself I would. When I complete my work even though I want to watch Netflix all day just because I said I would. Confidence comes from trust, and that comes from sticking to your word. Not by babying yourself when you mess up, but getting yourself back up gently and with compassion, but making sure that you do get up. I had to own up to the fact that I was overweight and it was eating away my confidence, so I changed it because I could. And if you want to do the same, I have many videos on YouTube on how I did that, the micro habits I used, and so on. But for now, this brings us to the end of yet another lovely hangout session with you. I hope you're ready to enter your most confident version, and I'm so excited to see you do that. I must take your leave now, but I will be back again next week for another talk session with you. Until then, you can watch my videos on YouTube. Take care, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye bye.